Film in Minnesota. I'm your host, Alan Tracy.
I'm your other host, Rohan Power.
And today we're talking about wedding season and or dating.
All the things.
Whatever.
Yeah. Because it's wedding season.
Yeah.
Which is
Have you
exciting.
been to any weddings?
I have
this year?
actually. Yeah, one of my oldest friends got married this year, which was so crazy. But yeah, and it was interesting. I mean, being, in the pandemic and all of that. So it was a lot different than, I'm sure what they had been planning and what, other like large weddings are, because they had to have it limited and, the spacing of everything.
Mm-hmm.
We were in masks and stuff like that. But yeah, so I have been to one. I have two more in the fall, actually, which will be my first non-summer weddings that I've been to. So that'll be interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. How about you?
I've shot one wedding for video.
Mm-hmm.
That was for August, so the first wedding of the year for me.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, since the stay-at-home order, a lot of stuff was canceled for May and June and July.
Mm-hmm.
And still a lot of others are just holding off too, because they don't want to limit their wedding necessarily.
Right. I know, it's so tricky. I feel really bad for everyone that's had to put so much time, because weddings are so expensive. And
Yeah.
so, you spend so much time planning every little detail. And then to have something, the pandemic just come around and be like, oh, by the way, none of this is going to work anymore. Sorry, you have to cancel all of these things. I would be pissed. So I can understand pushing things back. But yeah, it's such a tricky situation.
Yeah. And there are other couples that are still getting married, but they're not having like a live one until next year, like more of a reception type.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I think that's really smart, honestly.
Yeah. So if they really do want to get married this year, obviously they can.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that would save money, too.
Are you sending a message, Rohana?
No.
You might want to put that on mute while we're doing a podcast.
I just...
Yeah. Okay. But, yeah, the weddings are still going on.
They are.
And I'm surprised that they're, going to happen during the fall a little bit.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about those. It's funny, because these two particular couples, they announced their wedding. Well, they got engaged on the same day, and then they announced their wedding date on the same day, and they're a week apart. And one of them is here, and another one is in Maryland. So, I was stressed out for a little bit with the idea of having two weddings on opposite sides of the country on the same day, but luckily it's different weeks. So October is going to be exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be really cool being in the fall, being a little bit cooler and not, 100 degrees or anything. It'll be really pretty. So I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I love weddings. Don't you love weddings, Alan? I think they're so fun.
Yeah. It's, for me as a person that works it, it's more anxiousness because it's like a live event or sporting event in some ways where you're not entirely sure what's going to happen, but it plays out a certain way.
Yeah.
But it's a little faster than that because weddings are more unpredictable in terms of timing. So, as a wedding guest, it's obviously no problem. but to be someone who has to capture a moment when it happens, as it happens, like, that's much more intense. So,
Do you, because you've been doing like video and everything for weddings for a few years now, right? How long, what got you started into doing that?
basically the opportunity to do so and apply my skills as a videographer. So, getting to learn the cameras more, and definitely in much higher stakes environment instead of just like film where you can cut and do another take, and I just wanted to show those abilities, like improve my skills there, but also just capturing some really great moments with people, so
Absolutely.
yeah, because they're always everyone's like fully make-upped, and the dress that the brides wear, and the men with their tuxes, it's just very, very coordinated. So
Very. Do you work with specific photographers, or do you also do photography? Like,
no.
So is it they just hire you separately? Having never planned a wedding until I'm helping my sister plan hers right now. So I don't know anything when it comes to planning this stuff. So they hire you separate from like the photographers that are just taking all the actual pictures and stuff.
Yeah, they're there for pictures. I'm there to video record the wedding.
Aw.
So yeah,
Just record it all. That's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
feel like that would be interesting seeing, like, experiencing a wedding from that point of view.
Well, I mean, like every year with a video, and kind of relive it and see how far you've come as a couple. But also, it's fun to look back, obviously. And it's one of those events that, only happens the one time for a
Right.
couple, typically. So,
Yeah. Hopefully.
yeah.
Yeah. That's exciting.
Although with, like, the virus, have you noticed, obviously, besides the amount of people, any other changes?
I feel like so there's the amount of people thing, where it's limited, but then also I feel like the spacing when it came to
Yep.
like tables and stuff was a little different. I know for like the cocktail hour, we just sort of stayed back because it was at a winery. It was so beautiful. So we were just kind of walking around by the winery, like the vines and stuff,
Nice.
to sort of just try and give everyone their space individually, not get too close to everyone.
It was outdoors?
Or like the groups of people. It was, yeah, which was lovely. And I know they had masks for everyone. If they were optional for people, but we had our own too, so we wore those. And then like hand sanitizer and stuff, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was interesting. What things have you noticed?
Well, yeah, definitely spaced out. One of the fathers of the couple had is a doctor, so he basically they had like this video for people if they were interested to learning more about like just like space matters, and then outdoors is better because the virus doesn't spread as easily outdoors, is what they're finding. And then obviously masks. All the wait staff had masks, and
Yes. Yep.
lower amount of people than typically. But and also outdoors. So like they had a tent. They had like even during the ceremony, all the seats were spaced out, which is really good because
Yeah.
because I mean, with all the protests and things going on around the country, obviously with the virus, talking in terms of the virus, just it doesn't spread as easily outdoors in that fact. Otherwise, we would see a huge spike with or without masks. So,
Right.
because masks aren't foolproof either. So,
Well, yeah.
obviously, it's another barrier. So, and it keeps you from touching your face. So,
Which we should all do anyway.
yeah.
Do you have any weddings that are planned to just go to, like, just to attend as a guest this year, or only weddings that you are working?
No, none as a guest. I'm in the older group. They're
Right,
they're all
and-
married
yeah.
or not. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting way to put that. Because I feel like I'm getting up there too. Like where I feel like the people that are going to get married are married. And then the people that aren't married are likely not going to get married. Or if they do,
it's not
like,
happening for you, sir.
It's like if they do,
I'm
it's
just kidding.
probably going to be a while. And I mean that's myself
Yeah.
included, which is fine.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's just it's interesting.
yeah,
Like it's nice when they pop up because I still get excited because it is. I mean, I like celebrating my friends or family, and I love the party aspect. I like getting dressed up.
yeah.
And I mean, please, all of the wine, and dancing and all of that. Like, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was really, really big for a few years where everyone was getting married, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, now they're all married. So
Yeah.
I guess cool. No more. So it's nice when
It's interesting.
more of them
Wedding
are popping
season
up.
really is also a season of your life, maybe too. It kind of,
It is.
it has a big moment in the 20s, and then once you hit 30s, it starts to maybe teeter down. So
Yeah. Luckily, there's the family members that are still in their 20s,
yeah, yeah.
so they're still
if you have
getting
siblings or
married.
yeah,
right. Yep.
just family, like you said.
Yeah. Or some friends that are making the decision in a more mature time while we're in our 30s, which
Yeah.
I also think is fantastic. I love it.
So, talking in terms of movies, what type of wedding movies? I suppose we'll get into that here. Yeah.
I feel like with wedding movies, you either go really serious, like super dramatic, or you go funny. And I really appreciate the funny wedding movies.
Oh yeah. Well, like which ones?
Yeah. Well, like My Best Friend's Wedding. Love that movie. Like, yeah, it's got a little drama to it, but I think it's funny. Like, it's silly and wacky and stuff. My Big Fat Greek Wedding. I feel like that's a very underrated movie. I love that movie. I think it's wonderful. It's lighthearted. It's fun. And I think that the cast is just excellent. Bridesmaids, and I know that people either love that or they hate it, which is fine. I love it. I think it's
I love
great.
it too.
Yeah, it's just fun, and the cast is amazing. The Wedding Singer, come on. Father of the Bride,
Yep.
like there's so many good. Although I mean, like I do also I love The Best Man, which is more on the drama side, but yeah, I don't know. But I feel like there are other movies that have the wedding aspect in them, but they're also more about sort of relationshipy, which we can get into later. But Yeah, I think those are some of my favorite, like, surrounding a wedding specifically movies. How about you?
Yeah, definitely Father of the Bride, I think, of, like, is number one for weddings for me. That's the Steve Martin one's not the, I guess, original.
Yeah. Right.
And I guess Father of the Bride 2 is more about having babies, but so
Yeah.
after the wedding. But just the planning of the wedding, like that's what I think of as like going crazy counting hot dog buns and hot dogs and figuring out the math on
really-
that.
Oh, yeah.
Why do you go to jail
It's so
if
good.
you remove hot dog buns from the hot dog bun aisle? I don't know.
Yes. It's so
They sell
good.
6 hot dogs and hot dog buns come along and say, we'll sell you 8.
I mean, it's a good point. Like, what are we doing here?
It scales up at some point, I think. I don't know what that point is, but I'm sure there
I don't
is
think
one.
anyone
It's like
should know what that
48 or
point
something.
is.
I don't know. Something like that.
Lord.
But I mean,
Yeah. But yeah, that's a phenomenal
yeah.
film.
And I love, the wedding planners and the wedding coordinators.
Yes. Yes.
B.D. Wong and Martin Short as Franck and
I love that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
remember all these details.
well, I mean that's it's just one of those movies that I think is just great. So, and then the cost of everything, even back then.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah. Which is
Right.
saying something. I don't know how anyone
he's like-
affords to get married.
I was about to have a heart attack. I thought you said 150 a head. And it's like, no, it's 250 a head. And then it snows. It's like something always goes wrong in your, wedding or like this. It's the pandemic, so it's like that's your
Yes.
version of snow, basically. Snow, storm raining on your parade, so to speak.
There really is always something. And I'm trying to tell my sister that as I'm helping her plan. I'm like, you can plan out every single thing to a T. And at least one of those things is just going to go off the rails, and you just got to let it go. Like, it's fine. It's life. The rest of it's fine. You're the only one that's going to notice. It's okay. Don't need any breakdowns. Any Steve Martin breakdowns happening.
Because just like we talked about What About Bob last time, like he was well put together and then he just falls apart. It's just like as the movie progresses, that's kind of where the comedy is the tragedy plus time, so to speak. So because I think everyone relate with some part of each of these characters. So. And then Steve Martin, Diane
Certainly.
Keaton, just a great cast in general.
Duo, yeah.
Wedding Crashers. Now,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I think obviously this has a different lens to it. This is not it's about wedding season. Specifically about wedding season for 2 single men.
It is.
And
It's such a fun film.
And then, of course, one of them falls in love. And then,
I mean, of course. What else was he going to do?
well, they both kind of do, I guess. But,
Oh,
Yeah.
in a very weird way. But yeah, I feel like that one's really fun because it shows just the fun aspect of weddings.
Yeah.
It's like, rather than like the planning and the stress and then, oh my gosh, here's the big moment. It starts with the big moment and then it kind of like shows, oh, this is actually the only reason we're here is because we just want to party.
And
I mean, yeah.
it starts
great.
with
I love
them
it.
doing their day job, which is divorce
Yeah.
attorneys. Yeah.
Which is
It's like,
hilarious.
okay, so this is where weddings get off, you know, like that. And then they're like indulging in like, I don't know, the fruits of others' labor, I suppose, and planning a wedding and just taking complete advantage of the situation if you look at it that way.
Yeah.
But then you have like just kind of like after the wedding, it's just like the family and then Bradley Cooper and Christopher Walken, yeah,
Christopher Walken.
playing
Oh,
yard
Lord.
football
So good.
or touch football, yeah.
Yes. It's
And
so
Jane
good.
Seymour.
Jesus.
A long
Yes.
way
Yeah,
from
Jane Seymour.
Dr. Quinn, medicine woman.
No kidding.
But yeah, Vince Vaughn, perfect
Jesus.
in that role.
What else do you have on the
Crazy
list?
Rich Asians.
Yeah. I still have to finish it. I've seen half of it. We had to stop it because I had to
Oh my
leave
God,
halfway
this-
through.
Oh.
Because I was at my friend's house, and then I had to leave.
They were like,
Oh, son of
"Get
a bitch."
out."
I was really enjoying that, and then I kept meaning to watch
Your
it.
friend's house?
right?
And they told you to
I
leave?
don't want you here anymore. No, but like I had to go. Like I was there. We were hanging out, and we started watching the movie, and then all of a sudden
Oh.
I realized what time it was, and I had to leave, and so I left, which was really disappointing
Yeah.
because I was thoroughly enjoying the movie, and then I kept meaning to rewatch it, and finish it, and I haven't, and I'm very disappointed. Yeah, I'm bad at life, Alan. Okay.
You're, yeah.
But yeah, I do want to finish it because so far it's excellent. So no spoilers, but I'm guessing a wedding happens.
Yes. It's quite good.
It's quite good. Okay. I'm not letting you give me spoilers because I'm
Yeah.
absolutely going to finish that one. And I've heard such amazing things about it that I'm actually very excited. But what else is on your list?
We had one in common, Bridesmaids.
Yes, I love Bridesmaids. So incredible. The cast is wonderful. I think that they work so well together. I think it's very well written. It makes me sad that people dislike it so much.
Really? I it's a great script. I mean,
I agree.
I think it won the screenplay award for definitely the WGA. I'm not sure. I think they won the Oscar too.
It's excellent. What's your favorite part?
Oh gosh.
Remember back, Alan.
Yeah, because this film came out when I was in a screenplay writing class, so we had to kind of watch all the nominees from the WGA that year. Let's see. Trying to remember. Obviously, the dress scene when she's trying on the dress.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the most prominent, I think, scene in
Right.
the film, where she just sits down in the middle of the road.
So good. It's so classically funny.
How about you?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I really enjoyed when they're on the plane, they're on the flight, and Kristen Wiig is just getting hammered. Or I think did she take like sleeping pills or something like that? And she's like high and hammered or something. I don't even fully remember, but she is hilarious. So that was one of my favorite parts. I just love the dynamic that all of those women have together.
Mm-hmm.
They play off each other very well. And yeah, I just think that they did great.
Yeah.
It was very enjoyable. Now I want to go and watch that movie. Damn it.
Okay,
But-
so it was nominated. It didn't win. Okay. For the screenplay.
I'm sure that it was an honor just to be nominated. So it's fine. So yeah, I do love weddings. I love wedding season. I love just like the air of happiness that surrounds it all. And then again, like the dressing up and the party and the being with like your friends and your family and really celebrating. And because after that, outside of having kids, like that doesn't really happen again.
Right.
Like at least, certainly not to that degree. So I do love it. But like we mentioned, as you get older, it happens less and less.
Right.
And neither of us are married, so we've never been through that.
Yeah.
Specifically with the planning and the spending absurd amount of money. So how about leading up to that point? Like how's it going for you, Alan?
I am on the dating apps, and it is not going well. It's just, Whitney, I will bring this up because I listened to Whitney Cummings' podcast. She brought it up about like certain things that people do, and it's true for both men and women. It's just, one, like, get someone else to take your, don't, if you're creating a dating profile, I mean, it's not just selfies and mirror shots and you at the gym. Oh my God. It's like, okay. Or the car selfie, I guess that's kind of a good thing. You have your own car. That's good. You can drive.
If you feel the need to brag about that factor, though,
Yeah.
like that really sets a precedence for everything else about you.
But I mean, like, also they're blurry photos. There's like, I don't know. It's just like, it's 2020.
Yeah.
Do you not have a good camera? I mean, somewhere. They're pretty cheap.
I could just imagine, like, because you're very technical and and in this field, and
Yes.
like you're a videographer and like you're a cinematographer and a director and all these things, and so seeing shitty pictures, I'm sure you're like, you've got to be fucking kidding me right now.
Yeah.
Like, this is ridiculous.
You better have a sparkling personality, because this
Right.
is
To
not
make
your
up for
strong
all
point.
this.
Yeah. If you're taking pictures with your phone is winning.
It's like one of those old flip Nokia phones.
Oh. This is when I was in my 20s. It's like, wait a minute. How old are you now? Because I see this. Sometimes there's a progression. It's like, oh, this looks good. Wait a minute. Huh? No.
Oh my god.
And then it's like, go to my Snapchat, go to my Instagram. It's like, wait a minute. Why are you here? It's like, you're not here to date. You're here to get followers, probably.
Right.
Why don't you just follow people on Instagram then? Why bother people who are, looking
Wanting
to
to
make a
date.
connection? Yeah.
Right, yeah. Rude.
And
That's
there's a lot of
shouldn't-
bots on there for, spam type or phishing accounts, whatever.
That's super obnoxious.
Yeah.
Like, it's already enough that you have to go and try and, like, sort through these hundreds of thousands of people and try and find, like, one decent person that you can have a connection with. But then, like, dealing with that, people are the worst, man. Like, God, that sucks.
Yeah, just go to a wedding, have someone take your picture professionally, and then
No kidding.
and then post it to your profile, because you look great on like a wedding day, right? Because cameras are there, it's just like.
That's true.
Although don't take it from a wedding like 5 years ago. That's not you now.
So if you're in like your mid 30s, you might just be out of luck on that one.
Yeah, have a friend, have a family member, or set it up on a timer and stand in front of a camera.
Pay attention to what is in the background.
Yeah, don't wear sunglasses. Everyone looks great in sunglasses. You take those off, it's like, wait a minute.
That's not true. I look terrible in sunglasses, so that is not true. There's like one type of sunglasses that look decent on me. Not good,
Oh,
but
really?
decent.
Okay.
The rest of them just look terrible. So not everyone looks good in sunglasses. That's like saying everyone looks good in hats.
Oh, gotcha,
Not true.
gotcha.
So, I mean, if nothing else, if they look good in sunglasses, at least that's one decent potential thing? Question mark? I don't know.
Yeah. And then there's the back end. Like, let's say you do match or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure women are inundated with messages, but I, say hello, whatever, Mm-hmm. I suppose, like, nowadays, for most men, you have to compete for a woman's attention because there's typically more men matching with certain women, I suppose. But then there's also just, like, ghosting, where it's like they don't reply, or maybe they did reply and then they stop.
Mm-hmm. Which is also very obnoxious. Like,
Yeah.
if you're going to put in the effort to be on the app and try to match with people, like, don't do that. Or
just unmatch.
Yeah.
You
exactly.
can unmatch with people if you're not going to respond.
Right.
It's like, okay, well, that's not happening.
Yeah. Like, what's the point?
Right. So, yeah, I'm a bit annoyed. Plus, nowadays, it's kind of like Facebook where you have to pay to play. So, all the apps are there to make money. They're not really there to help you match up.
Ugh.
They want you to pay, especially for men, I'm sure. They want you to pay because they want women to, get men to pay. So, it's just kind of free content for them to sell. So,
Ew. I'm sorry.
yeah. It's a business. I mean, they're not doing this for free.
Yeah. It's still the
It's
worst.
like matchmaking services. It is.
I feel like relationships...
What's my
and-
alternative?
Exactly. I feel like relationships and dating are hard enough as it is, especially today when everyth's online and, like, everyone is super like, here's my opinion about literally everything, and if you don't agree, then you're the absolute worst, and just super judgy about everything. Even, like, the smallest, dumbest things. Like, big things, sure, be judgy, whatever. But, like, the tiny, tiny little minute things, like, get over yourself. Nobody cares. Like, there's so much that you already have to, like, hurdle over. And, like, why add that one extra thing, Like, that sucks.
Yeah. And it's kind of like also you can't go in public now and say hello to people. There's no nightclubs open or they shouldn't be, I should say. But
Well, yeah. If they are, you don't want to date those people that are going anyway.
and that's that's a great opener
Yeah.
too. It's like, hey, how you doing? And then she's like, ew, get away. It's like, oh, it must be the virus. That's what she's afraid of. Yes.
Exactly. I'm sorry. Here's your 6 feet.
Yeah.
My fault.
Gonna have to shout it. Although I have to get further away if I'm going to shout because that spreads
Right. No kidding.
your spittle, whatever. There's more.
So what's like the funniest or most awkward or weird random thing that's happened on a date that you've experienced that you're willing to share on podcast platform?
Gosh, I should have thought about this before.
I should have told you I was going to ask this before. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It just popped into my head. Or even like, if it's just like some weird conversation or something that happened like through one of the apps, like, because I'm sure people are just weird. Like,
Yeah.
you probably have like your fairly normal people, but I'm certain that there's also people on there that are just like, you know what sounds good? Smelling feet. Like, I'm gonna go. Okay, thanks, bye. Like, there's got to be like something just randomly strange that you've run into where you're like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, let's see. I was having a nice conversation with a gal, and then I think I said I liked her theme song or something, or whatever it is, anthem.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's either she didn't reply or she unmatched. I can't remember.
Because of that?
And yeah, I don't know if it was because of that or if she had other matches. You don't know.
Huh.
But I mean, that was my last interaction with her, so.
That's odd. It's okay.
Yeah.
You don't want to date a girl like that anyway. I'm so sassy about it. Like, if you're going to be a jerk and just ghost somebody, then you're a terrible person. Screw you.
Yeah, I thought these were like a means to get to a date, but
Yeah.
it's almost like you're being predating kind of screen type of thing. I don't know. It's like the point is to get to know each other, but now I think it's even harder with the virus. But
Right. Which makes sense.
it's kind of like, do you go like on a social distant mask date outside, or do you do a virtual date? I don't know I don't know. I haven't really tried either yet. Oh, I remember there was one on the 4th of July. This is so stupid. I was
You don't have to share anything, but this is
I'm going to
safe
sound really
space.
stupid because of this. This is a safe public space to be
Yes.
judged. Okay.
Here, all judgy people, end the podcast right now. We don't like you anyway.
Yeah, just skip ahead. Just skip
Fast
this part.
forward.
You can, you can stop listening once Alan talks about his personal life here. So she suggested going on a date on the 4th of July in the morning sometime. And it was extremely hot that day. So I'm thinking to myself, maybe I shouldn't go on this date because being a sweaty person isn't really the best first impression.
Yeah.
So I suggest like maybe somewhere indoors,
Right.
like the Mall of America or something. And we're both kind of, we were both obviously on the side of wearing masks. So, and it came out, it's just like, well, a lot of people aren't really wearing masks, so they're worried about that. So it's like, yeah, I get that too. Let's just plan for another day.
A non-hot
And
day.
it's like, yeah, that was kind of my bad. And then I missed my opportunity basically. So,
I'm sorry.
yeah, because I mean, a gal can probably go on as many dates as she wants these days. So I have no idea. So
I have no idea either. So
or maybe she was just put off by the whole thing in general. I don't know. So, of course, I didn't say I didn't want to be sweaty mess and all that, but
maybe she just thought that you didn't like her. She was like, "Oh no, he's trying to get out of seeing me." I don't know.
right.
People are
That could
weird.
be, I
Who
don't
knows
know.
what she
Yeah.
thought? Yeah, the idea
But yeah,
of dating like that, like, it terrifies me. Yeah. Like I think you could technically say that I've ever dated. Like, I was in a relationship with a guy, like, from the very end of high school through to, like, my mid-20s. Well, early mid-20s. I was single for a year, where I was like, woo, Rihanna. And then that was it. And I went on 2 dates, one of which was with a guy who was moving to LA, like, a week later, and I knew that. So I don't know what the purpose of that was. Both of whom were friends of mine and who are very decent human beings. And then I started dating Jer, and we've been together for 8 years. So if we ever break up, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to be single because dating terrifies me. Like, this just sounds terrifying. The online stuff, it's too much effort. I'm good with friends. I don't know.
I know, right?
Sounds awful. Like, it just sounds like so much work for so much, who knows, potential,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. That was such a downer. I was like, meh, meh.
Well, I remember this one time going on a date with a gal, and it was, I suggested maybe we go bowling, and it ended, we went into this bowling alley in South Minneapolis, and this was a long time ago, but I remember we walked in, and as we walked in, everyone looked at us. It was like one of those moments in a Western saloon where it's just like everyone turns and looks, who's this? I don't recognize them. Mm-hmm. So we decided not to go bowling that night.
Oh.
I kind of made the call. I was like, how about we just go see a movie? So we saw Punch Drunk Love. So, yeah.
Oh, that's a cute
Yeah.
movie, too.
Another weird dating movie, perhaps,
Yeah.
where it's like the guy seems completely crazy. Probably
Yeah.
is a little neurotic, huh?
Likely.
But yet somehow she dates him still, so.
Right. Yeah, that's another, dating movies. I feel like, there's so many, it's endless, the list of movies that are about dating. Whether they're good or bad
Yeah.
dates, but,
And,
some of them can be
yeah,
pretty fun.
like How to Be Single. She lays it out, what's her name? In the bar scene where she's breaking down the peanuts.
Rebel Wilson?
No, Allison,
No.
Allison
Oh,
Brie.
Allison
Yeah.
Brie. Love her.
When she's
Yes.
she's
Yes,
on
yes.
this, that, and the other dating site. And
Mm-hmm.
she breaks it down half the population is women, so that's out. So, and then half of these men are married, so that's out. Some of these men aren't even of age, so that's out.
Right.
And that leaves me with this amount of people willing to date and to find a relationship, even smaller. It's like, she's got a point.
Yeah. She really, really explains it well. It's
Yeah.
very disappointing. That's a great movie,
Yeah.
though.
It really talks about the times in between relationships. So,
Yeah, it speaks to it really well. And sort of the ins and out of just trying to find both someone who you can have that connection with and want to, continue seeing, but also finding yourself.
yeah.
So that way you can be your best in a relationship. Because obviously if you're not cool with you, nobody will be.
Right.
There's your PSA for the day, folks.
But also having someone else accept you for you, too.
Right. Yeah. It's so tricky. People are so tricky.
Well, I think that, yeah. I think that film is a good representation of, who we present ourselves to be in a relationship versus who we are when we're alone. So.
Yeah. I agree. I also really, another film that comes to mind that's kind of about, there's some marriage in there, but there's also some dating, is Crazy Stupid Love. With Julianne Moore and Steve Carell, Emma
Stone.
Stone.
And
Yep.
Ryan Gosling, yeah.
Yes, yeah. That's really fun. And how you can be in the marriage and it's not going well. Wow, we just went from weddings and fun to well, this marriage didn't work. But like, yeah, so it touches on that, and how it still needs everything that it always has. The relationship does, in order to continue being good. Like, that doesn't change just because you're suddenly married. But then, like, I feel like Emma Stone's troubles with dating, and even Ryan Gosling, the way that he goes about it, just like stresses me out. Like, how is there hope for anyone if people like that are out there? God. You know what I mean?
It's been a while since I've seen the movie. I remember loving it, of course, but one of my favorite writers too. I think it was Dan something. Damn it.
One of your favorites.
Yeah, Fogelman, Dan Fogelman.
There you go. Yeah.
Because
it's very well written.
Yeah, he's good at writing those kind of heartfelt films too. In the end, so. Other films I like are by Amy Schumer. She has a lot of them, like Trainwreck and I Feel Pretty.
Yeah, I love Trainwreck.
Yeah.
I feel like that's another one where a lot of people don't like her for some reason, whether it's because she's very straightforward and like blunt about being a woman and life and stuff. And I think that makes a lot of men specifically uncomfortable. But even some women.
I'm perfectly comfortable with that. You hear that, ladies? I'm comfortable. No, I'm just...
There you go. See? But yeah, I think it's great. I think she's hilarious, and I think she's really fun to watch. And who doesn't love Bill Hader?
Right.
Also, if you don't love Bill Hader, I need you to write us a very detailed letter as to why, because I need a full explanation.
Right.
That's unacceptable. But yeah, and I think that was an interesting role for him, because it's not something he had really necessarily done before, like been the romantic lead,
right,
like that. He did really well. He's very charming.
Well, Amy Schumer wrote the script, I believe. So
did she?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Go Amy Schumer.
Then I Feel Pretty is all about what you said too, your PSA. Being able to accept yourself for who you are and loving yourself for that, and owning that. So
yeah. Which I haven't seen that movie, but I think that it's really important to be comfortable with yourself like that, and accept like this is who I am, and like yourself, and be comfortable with that in order to really go into dating fully ready, because other people can be the worst. So so you want to make sure that you are
comfortable in your own skin. So yeah,
exactly. That's awesome.
And it has one of my favorite other male comedians that also plays opposite Amy Schumer, Rory Scovel. So he has one stand-up on Netflix. So
I don't think I know who that is.
You should watch his stand-up. It is hilarious. When I saw him in it, when I saw him in that, I was just like, I just found him. Must be a coincidence. They're not marketing to me at all.
I feel like that every time I find like a new stand-up comedian or something. I'm like, oh my God, they're brand new and I just found them. And it's like, oh no, they've been around forever.
Right. And
interesting.
Yeah, I definitely recommend checking out his stand-up.
I will. I'm Googling him right now. I'm intrigued.
There's only one on Netflix, but it is hilarious.
That works.
But
yeah, another film that comes to mind, and it's actually one of my favorite movies, like, of all time. I could watch this movie every single day and never get sick of it, and I know that because I have spent large chunks of time where I've watched it every single day and I'm still not sick of it, is When Harry Met Sally. I just love Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal together. Like, I think it's incredible.
It's hard to find on the streamings. Like, I wanted to watch it once, and
It
it's
is.
like, no, you gotta buy this.
Yeah. I have it on DVD. Not even Blu-ray.
Okay.
I have it on DVD.
Well, see,
yeah.
the older the format, the more hardcore fan you are, I suppose. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. It's excellent though. And it really, like, it's really about like all of the, like, it's about dating, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, she's in this long-term relationship with a guy who, she wants so much more, and he's unwilling to take any of those steps. Like, he won't get married. He doesn't want to travel. He doesn't want to do any of these things. And she's like, well, I love you, but I guess no. And so she leaves, but then struggles really hard dating for a really long time. And Billy Crystal is married, like, he's one of those guys that you just assume is never going to get married, falls in love, gets married, and then she, like, cheats on him and leaves him. I think she cheats on him, and leaves him. And for some old guy. And yeah.
And then they meet up again.
Right, and they become best friends, but they're clearly perfect together. But then it's one of those, like, well, I don't want to ruin the friendship things and la-da-da. But yeah, and then both of them are going through dating and trying to help the other, like, through that, because it's a beast. And that was before social media and, like,
Right.
the internet and craziness.
Yeah, how did people meet back then? Oh, personal ads, I suppose.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, so it's just,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, no one's meeting now with the way social, these apps are going anyway, so.
Right. No kidding. But people do obviously still meet. And they do still fall in love. And that is why we have wedding season. Which
That's why it exists. Yes.
Exactly, which I'm grateful for, because again, I just think it's a wonderful time of year. And really, whenever people want to get married, that's fine. Please send me an invite. I would love to buy you a present and drink and dance at your wedding. Like, I'm all for it. There's nothing better. Especially when we don't have to pay for it. Yeah.
Yeah, because then you get into dating, and then there's stuff like cuffing season and things like that.
What is that? I don't. I have no idea what that is.
Let's see here. The top definition from
Oh boy.
from Urban Dictionary.
Oh god, it's one of those.
This is funny. The top definition is by Coors Light.
What?
That's just the name of the user, maybe, or maybe it is Coors Light. I have no idea.
Huh.
But it says here, cuffing season, the definition, the cold season when everyone's coupling up, so you settle for a new boyfriend, girlfriend, way below your standards.
Oh.
Or you're one of the smart ones who cozies up with Coors Light and your puppy, BFF.
Oh my gosh.
Pupper? BFF? What the hell's... Now I have to look that up. But yeah, basically the cold season. So when it gets cold out, people just want to stay in and nest, basically.
Jeez.
I saw this funny meme once about it, like, from some guy that posted, like there's... They kind of laid it out like the NFL draft, Like there's the combine, like the preseason kind of, and the draft, and then, you get your top 7 picks, and then your star is the one you pick for cuffing season. So if you need an analogy that, kind of pertains to making sense of, like, Well, who do we got on the list here? They all suck, but
Right. Sad.
we're not sure if they're professionally groomed yet. But the cuffing season is for that reason, apparently.
Well, damn.
Well, anyways, wedding season
Yeah. Back to the.
is different than cuffing season.
It is.
So
It's very different.
Yeah.
Wedding season is wonderful.
yeah, that's one thing I wish, some of these weddings I wasn't working at, so then I could actually talk to some ladies,
So you need to be invited to more weddings.
Yeah, but then I'd have to know people who are young enough to go to weddings, or to have weddings, or whatever, or having weddings.
So that's what you need to do. You need to be on the dating apps and being like, hey, like in your little blip, you can be like, do you know people that are getting married? Let me be your date. And then boom.
And then I could hit on other people. No, I'm just...
I mean, let's be honest.
Is that what you're getting at, Rahana? Play the field?
Okay, I didn't realize that that's what I was getting at, but apparently it is. Shit. Not what I meant. Never mind. Don't. Again,
Yeah.
I am not the dating. Like, I've been on 2 real dates. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about.
See, this is the type of analysis we go under. It's so mind-boggling scrutinous. Like, it's to a microscopic level where it's like, okay, we haven't even met. How about we go on a date and then figure that out from
Right.
there, know? But then I guess, like for me now, it's like I don't have time to date. So it's just kind of like...
Yeah.
Plus, then you have the virus on top of that. So it's
Right.
like,
So if anything, right now is the time to not date.
yeah.
I mean, you've got your pets. That's all people need, really.
Yeah. So to wrap up wedding
So
season's
wedding
episode-
season. My big takeaway is that I love weddings. Please invite me to yours. I will dance. I will buy you
Yeah.
a gift. And I will marvel at how beautiful you are and all the work you put into it. And
Right.
also, I love wedding movies. I really do. One last movie. I just actually watched this week on Netflix. It's called Love, Wedding, Repeat. Super corny, like whatever. Most of them are. It's fine. I don't care. Get over it. It's got, oh God, I don't remember his name. He's in the Hunger Games. Not one of like the 2 main characters, but anyway, so there's that guy who I don't remember, so it's not helpful to anyone. And it has Olivia Munn in it. It's like a wedding is taking place in Italy. It's beautiful, and then all these little things start happening. And I think it's Judi Dench is narrating. And she basically says like, well, this one thing could change everything. And then like halfway through the movie, she's like, remember when I said that? And then it like rewinds and goes back and replays, and it's a whole thing. It's really cute. Highly recommend if you want something light and silly and fun to watch.
That sounds great.
To go along with
I'll
the
check that
wedding
out.
season. But yeah. That's all I've got, Alan.
That's all I got.
All right. Well, I guess we can let everybody go then.
The meeting is adjourned.
You may leave. Yeah.
You've been on a few Skype, not Skype, Zoom meetings,
I have,
right?
yeah. Like, does anybody else have
Yeah.
anything? Nope, not me. Okay. And then everybody waves at each other bye, even though that's not what you do in
Yeah.
real meetings. It's like, what am I,
Right.
like I do it. I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I, no one wants me to
It's a
wave.
nonverbal cue,
Yeah,
Rahana,
that's true. It is.
that we don't want to see you anymore. We're going to wave this off.
Oh, that's,
We're done.
that's so funny. But yeah. So thank you everyone for listening to us talk about weddings and dating and trials and tribulations that exist.
Right. No
Yeah.
kidding. And please let us know what have your experiences been with either weddings or
Yeah.
dating. So
Tell us your stories. Because there's always some
Yeah.
good stories.
send us your stories. We'll share it up.
Yeah. Unless you just want to share it with us, then we'll keep it to ourselves. It's fine.
Yeah, please subscribe. be sure to also send us a message if you have any stories or just stuff about films going on here.
Yep.
Are you making a film in Minnesota about a wedding or about, something romantic?
Oh my gosh, Alan, we should do that.
We'd love to hear from you. Maybe we can talk to you if you have the right specifications for an online interview. So.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think Minnesota needs more movies about weddings. That's all I'm going to say about that.
There you go.
All right. Keep tagging us in your posts in all of the projects that you're doing. Hashtag Film Minnesota. And until next time, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll talk to you later.